Welcome everybody to a new Alchemy Stars Should You Summon on this week's Raid Up Banner video. I need to shorten that name somehow. I need a shorter name for that. But yeah guys, today we have a really packed banner. This is a very packed banner, no pun intended. So let's jump straight into it because we have a lot to talk about. As usual, I'm going to be going through all three Aurorians or characters that are going to be in this particular banner. I'm going to go over their abilities, their actives, their chains, their equipment, their breakthroughs, ascensions, and I'm going to give them all an overall score. I'm also going to be trying to tell you guys whether or not it's worth going for their breakthroughs and whether or not it's worth going for the character itself if you don't have them yet. So, starting off with Jona. Jona is a 6-star fire sniper. She has Thunder as her secondary type, and she has an awesome Ascension 3 art. Then we have her abilities. Let's jump straight into her abilities right away. And Jona has an active skill that's called High Noon with a 3-turn cooldown that says enters the noon state, increasing Jona's attack by 10% and chain combo damage by 30% for 2 rounds. So that is a huge boost to her attack and her chain combo damage. That is a very big boost, and also it lasts 2 rounds, which is very nice. Jona is going to be an incredibly solid sniper if you're looking for one in the fire type. So then we have her chain skills. No survivors. We have that the first one is a chain combo 4 that deals 155% damage to enemies within 2 surrounding clusters. The second one is a chain combo 8 that deals 160% damage to 3 enemies within 3 surrounding clusters. And then the last one is a chain combo 13 that deals 175% damage to 4 enemies within 3 surrounding clusters. So starting from her second chain combo, she has a 3 surrounding cluster area of attack, which is very nice because as you can see on the picture, it's a pretty huge area. So very nice. This is pretty standard for snipers. We saw pretty much the same thing with Connolly and Kuskura, because yeah, this is pretty much what most snipers actually do. Then we have her equipment. So her equipment rapid reload says when in the noon state, normal attacks deal 20% splash damage to all targets in 4 tiles in a cross shape around the enemy. So the wording here is a little tricky because it says 4 tiles in a cross shape around the enemy. It's not really around the enemy, it's more like around the tile where Jona is hitting. Because as you can see right now on the screen, I'm hitting a 4 tile boss and I'm still dealing splash damage. That is because the splash applies to 4 tiles in a cross shape around the tile that Jona is hitting, not around the enemy, right? Obviously there needs to be an enemy there for her to hit, right? But yeah, the splash is on 4 tiles around whatever Jona is hitting, so just keep that in mind. Moving on, we have that her Ascension 2 is actually an equipment upgrade, and it says when in the noon state, increases the damage of normal attacks by 20%, and normal attacks deal 50% splash damage. This is because this is equipment 10, by the way. I'm sorry if it's a little confusing. This is equipment 10, that's why the percentages are higher. So, and normal attacks deal 50% splash damage to all targets in 4 tiles in a cross shape around the enemy. And then we have her Ascension 3, which is an active skill upgrade, and it says enters noon state, increasing Jona's attack by 10% and chain combo damage by 30%, as well as reducing the combo triggering tile count of fire Aurorians by 2 for 2 rounds. So incredibly solid. Her Ascension 2 gives her a huge boost to her normal attacks, and her Ascension 3 basically is like a supporter ability for your entire team if you're using a fire team. All of your fire Aurorians for 2 rounds have a discounted price on their chain combos, which is sweet. That means that whenever you're activating Jona's active skill, you're going to be dealing insane amounts of damage. Imagine this, right? This ability, her Ascension 3 ability, on top of Istvan's abilities, right? You are going to deal so much damage, it's insane. You're going to melt enemies. So moving on, we have Breakthrough 3 and Breakthrough 6. So her Breakthrough 3 is actually a another active skill upgrade, right? And it says enters the noon state, increasing Jona's attack by 10% and chain combo damage by 30% for 2 rounds. I don't know why I read that, because I pointed right there that it just gives her preemptive on her active skill. So yeah, I don't know why I read that, I'm sorry. So yeah, it gives her preemptive, which is very nice. You can burst your enemy right off the bat as soon as the match starts. And I would say that this BT3 is nice to have. I would say I'm gonna give it a maybe, right? It's nice to have, but it's not really a necessity, right? Like bursting from turn 1 is, you know, you're gonna need BTs on a few of your characters, not just Jona, for that. So it's a maybe. Then we have her BT6. BT6 is incredibly underwhelming in my opinion. Basically all it does is that it increases Jona's attack by 15% instead of 10%. That's it. It's a 5% increase. That's all it is. So you already know, guys, that BT6 absolutely not worth. Never, ever do not go for BT6 on Jona, because it's not worth it. That is ridiculous. 5% upgrade. Like, yes, she has so many boosts that 5% extra, a 5% extra boost on her attack is going to be very significant, but it's not worth it. It's still not worth it. And finally, we go to her score. So like I said, Jona is an incredibly solid sniper slash supporter for your team, but she still falls a little bit short behind Sinsa, Sharon, and you know, the usual suspects, basically Sins and Sharon. So if you have Sins and Sharon, you're probably going to be using them as DPS because they're a little bit more solid, right? In the sense that, well, both can attack diagonally. Since I can reduce defense, which is super useful. Sharon can reset tiles, and then if you have him with a couple of BTs, he can also transform tiles to red. So yeah, she falls just a little bit behind, but not too far behind. So now, should you go for her? Is it worth going for Jona? I would say maybe. Again, just maybe. You know, like, if you, like I said, if you don't have a Sinsa or Sharon, then you can maybe go into this banner if you're really desperate for a DPS for your fire team. But it's a maybe. If you're really looking for a sniper or an extra DPS for your fire team, then yes, she's a very solid choice. Moving on now, we go to Pact. So Pact is a forest converter, right? Her secondary typing is fire, and she comes from True Order, so you know she's going to be awesome. And she's a 5-star too. So let's go into her abilities. So Pact is actually a 2-turn preemptive converter, which is pretty much a staple in any team, right? You have other characters that are like her. For thunder it's Beverly, for fire it's Faust, and for water I think it's Klecken, I'm pretty sure. So these characters are essential to your teams, and the reason why is because of their active skills. Basically, their active skill, what it says is that, well, in the case of Pact, it's called Hunting Stone, and it says it's a 2-turn cooldown with preemptive strike right off the bat. You don't need to get breakthroughs for her, you don't need anything. Right off the bat, she has preemptive strike, and it converts 4 of the nearest red tiles to green. Just the red ones, right? Because she's a 5-star, then if you have Nikinis on top, then Nikinis is going to help a little bit more. But still, incredibly solid. You're definitely going to need this if you want to run a forest team. I mean, it's not like you need it, but you know, it's going to be, if you have it, you must use it, because it just makes your life so much easier. So incredibly useful. Then we have her chain skills. Jona is kind of like a jack of all, not Jona, Pact is a kind of like a jack of all trades. She has pretty much everything, because her chain skills are called Raging Thorn, and she has a chain combo too that deals 155% damage to 8 tiles in an X shape. It's really weird that this is an X shape. Sometimes it's a little bit wonky, and weird, but inflicts slow on all enemies on green tiles for 2 rounds, marking the targets. So it's a little specific, right? But let's keep moving. Skill condition chain combo 7. Chain combo 7 deals 170% damage to enemies in an X shape to the maximum range and inflicts slow to all enemies on green tiles for 2 rounds. Then we have chain combo 10, deals 180% damage to enemies in X shape to the maximum range and inflicts slow to all enemies on green tiles for 2 rounds, marking the targets. So she, like I said, she's kind of a jack of all trades, right? Because we already have that she converts tiles, now she also applies slow. You know, the slow condition is really kind of conditional. It's not something that you can definitely rely on because you need your enemies to be stepping on green tiles, which is really weird. But you know, it's nice to have. It's gonna come in handy every now and then, but it's not gonna be because you planned for it. It's just gonna be something that happened. So yeah, it's a nice ability to have. Like I said, she is a core part of any forest team. So, you know, you're probably going to be running her, and this is going to come in handy at some point. Probably inspired though. Then we have her equipment. Her equipment is Thorn Chakram. And when a marked enemy dies, HP recovers HP equal to 1.5% of the enemy's max HP and recovery effects. Recovery effects means up to 30% of Pact's health. I don't know why they worded it like that, it's super weird, but that's what it means, up to 30% of Pact's health. Not the team's, but Pact's health. Then we go into her ascensions and she just keeps getting better. So when a marked enemy dies, gain HP equal to 1.5% of the enemy's max HP and 30% of Pact's health. Up to 1 tile where the enemy is located is changed to an enhanced tile. So yeah, again, it's kind of weird, you know, like you have to kill an enemy that's already marked, right, and then you recover health, and also it becomes an enhanced tile. It's obviously going to be a green enhanced tile, right, because for you to mark the enemy in the first place you need to hit it with your chain combo. So, and to actually apply the mark, the enemy needs to be standing on a green tile. So it's a really far-fetched way of creating an enhanced green tile. So yeah, then we have her Ascension 3, which is a chain upgrade, and basically it's the same as all other cooldown to converters, and it says converts the 4 nearest red tiles to green and has a chance to generate up to 2, I'm sorry about that, a chance to generate up to 2 enhanced tiles. So yeah, enhanced tiles, if you guys don't know, basically give you an extra point to your combo so that you can deal more damage. So you know, it's nice, it's good to have, especially in forest. It's especially nice to have enhanced tiles because there are a few characters that actually interact with that, like Naroxel and I think Hero does, and Paloma. So very nice. I'm pretty sure Hero does. I don't know because I don't have Hero, but I'm pretty sure, maybe, I don't know. Moving on to her BTs. So her BT2 is an active skill upgrade, and basically what it does is that if the active skill is ready in the last round, increases the tile converting count by +1 this round. So basically, if you start the game and you don't use her active skill right away, the next turn you're going to convert 5 tiles instead of 4. 5 tiles is the maximum amount of tiles that you can convert with her BT2. So should you go for her BT2? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it. Absolutely not, because there's really no point, you know, like it's such a useful active that you're probably going to be using, like 99% of the time you're going to use it whenever it comes off cooldown, right? There's going to be some situations where it's not optimal to use it right away, but it's really not worth trying to get her BT2, really not. So then we have her BT5. Her BT5 is a chain upgrade. I'm sorry, not a chain, it's an active skill upgrade too. And it says converts 5 tiles instead of 4. So basically it converts 5 tiles instead of 4. And then if you learn turn pass, you can convert 6 tiles instead of 5. So again, I don't think this is worth. It's just way too much investment to get that BT5 for just 1 extra tile. It's not worth. Neither of her BTs are worth, in my opinion. And finally, we have her score. We have our very first 10 out of 10 character in this Rada banners. I definitely think Pact is a 10 out of 10 for the Forest team. You will 100% want her in your team if you have her. She converts tiles with a super low cooldown. She can slow enemies, she can heal you, she can create enhanced tiles for a lot of other Aurorians like Naroxel and Paloma that actually use those enhanced tiles. They like using those enhanced tiles. And she's super solid. She's just an incredibly solid character with a ton of abilities packed into her. So do summon for her. I think it's worth 100%. If you don't have her, try that one multi, see if you can pull her, and hopefully you can get her with just one multi and be super happy, as you should be. So moving on now to Nemesis. Nemesis is a cross converter. Like I said, this week this banner is packed. So Nemesis is a cross converter. She's a Thunder character from Illumina, and she's a 5-star too. So let's jump straight into her abilities. Her active skill, Thunder's Judgment, is a 5-turn cooldown. It deals 450% damage to enemies in a cross shape to the maximum range and knocks enemies back, converting tiles in the area of attack to yellow. So incredibly useful, except for the 5-turn cooldown, which really sucks. So I'm gonna get into it when we get to her BTs. So moving on, we have her chain skills. So her chain skill, Divine Presence, she has a 4 chain combo 4 that deals 150% damage to the 2 nearest enemies. Then she has a chain combo 9 that deals 150% damage to 3 of the nearest enemies. And then a chain combo 13 that deals 150% damage to 4 nearest enemies. So she doesn't have a huge amount of damage, especially because she's a converter and these percentages are pretty low, but she has unlimited range. She's always going to land her chain combo, which is incredibly nice, especially for the next part, which is her equipment. Her equipment, Righteousness, says each chain combo hit grants 1 stack of Judgment Mark, and each stack increases defense by 4%, and then the mark disappears at the end of the round. So again, as long as you get at least 4 tiles, you're always going to land your chain combo, and you're gonna get at least an extra 8% defense. Incredibly useful. I really like that. Then we have her Ascensions. So for her Ascensions, we have that her Ascension 2 is an equipment upgrade, and it says each chain combo hit grants 1 stack of Judgment Mark, 2 if the active skill is if you're heading with the active skill, and then each stack increases defense by 4%, but it retains 50% of the stacks at the end of the round. So her Ascension 2, basically what it does is that it gives you marks if you land your active skill, and also it gives you 2 marks if you land your active skill, right? So increasing your defense by a lot. And then it retains 50% of the stacks at the end of the round instead of clearing them, which is very nice. It means that you're going to stack a lot of defense along the match, so very useful. Then we have her Ascension 3. Her Ascension 3 is another equipment upgrade, and basically what it says is each chain combo hit grants 1 stack of Judgment Mark, blah blah blah. Each stack increases attack by 3% and defense by 4%, retains 50% of its stacks at the end of the round. So this 3% doesn't actually increase with her equipment level. Defense does. I think it goes all the way up to 10%, I'm pretty sure. 10% per mark, which is a huge boost to her defense. But attack always stays at 3% for whatever reason, so it's kind of an underwhelming Ascension 3, to be honest. And then we go to her BT, to her BTs. Yes, so her BT2 is actually an active skill upgrade, and what it does is that it reduces your cooldown by 1 turn. Right, so it's a 4-turn cooldown instead of a 5-turn cooldown. I just don't think this is worth it, honestly. 4 turns are not good. Like, instead of 5, it's still way too much, especially considering that she's not going to be dealing all that much damage, right? She is going to be increasing your defense, but yeah, you know, like I don't know. She's kind of gonna be a dud all the way until turn 4. Turn 4 is going to be amazing, of course, but like, I just don't think it's worth going for her BT2. I really don't. Then we have her BT5, which is a completely different story, because BT5 gives her preemptive strike. This is the same for all 4 cross converters, so you can take this advice for all 4. Like you can take this for Sicare, for Barden, and for Maggie too. So her BT5 gives her preemptive strike. That is huge. That is massive, dude. Imagine from turn 1, as soon as the match starts, you have like, how many is that? Like 10, 15, like a huge amount of yellow tiles right off the bat. If you also have Beverly or Granru, like you are almost guaranteed to have an Aurora time on turn 1 and deal a ridiculous amount of damage, like huge. So what I would recommend, again, you can take this for all 4 cross converters. What I would recommend is that if you have her by some reason, like me, if you have her at BT4, I do because I pull her like a billion times, I don't know why, go for her. Go into this banner and try to pull her, because having a cross converter with preemptive strike is going to be a game changer for whatever team you put them on. 100%. If you're looking for a massive boost for your Thunder team, go into this banner and try to get Nemesis. Her BT5, if you have her already BT4 and you want to go for her BT5, it's 100% worth it. You definitely want that. She is going to be so good. She's going to be incredibly good. So finally we have her score. So I don't know if some of you are going to be surprised that she is a 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10 like Pact, but the thing is that she does become a 10 out of 10, but you need to have her BT5, right? You need to have her max BT for her to actually be a 10 out of 10. Before that, you are only going to use her in stages that you know are going to be very long, right? And so you know that you are eventually going to get to use her active skill. But otherwise, if you don't have her max BT, you're probably not going to take her to most stages because it's just not worth it. So it's a 9 out of 10 before she gets max BT, but if she gets max BT, she is an 11 out of 10. Overall results, I guess, on whether or not you should summon on this banner. I think yes, worth it. Go for this banner, go for it, 100%. If you don't have Pact, if you don't have Jona, and you need a fire sniper, honestly, if you don't have Pact, go for this banner, 100%. If you have Nemesis BT4, go for this banner. If you need a sniper or you need an extra DPS for your fire team, go for this banner and try to pull Jona, right? Like there's really no way of losing in this banner. There really isn't any way of losing. If you have Nemesis BT4, I just can't say this enough. If you have Nemesis BT4, please summon on this banner. I know I will be summoning, trying to pull that max BT Nemesis. Pact is an amazing character. If you don't have her, she's going to be core in your forest team. She's going to help you so much. Jona is going to be an excellent replacement if you haven't pulled Sins or Sharon. So worth summon on this banner. This banner is packed. It has an 8 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, and a 9 out of 10 character. Like, what else can you ask for? So that's gonna be the video for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.